So when you're trying to deal with sickness and death, a lot of times you'll be asking the question, how can this be happening to me? Maybe you've asked, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Maybe you're asking, where's God when I'm hurting? Does he even care? A lot of people, when they go through sicknesses, or if their friends go through tragedies in their lives, a lot of times it's easy to point a finger at God and say, God doesn't care. God doesn't love me. God isn't here. There is no God. Or if there is a God, I don't even want to know him, because we can get so angry. I want to make sure we understand, though, what the Bible has to say about sickness and death. The first thing that the Bible teaches is that God didn't create it. If you go to Genesis 1, the very first chapter in the Bible, it explains how God created the heavens and the earth. And as you read through that, you're going to notice that it doesn't say anything in there about God creating disease or sickness. In fact, every day after God created what he created for the day, at the end it says that he saw that it was good. So you'll see that all repeated all throughout that first chapter. And God saw that it was good, because God doesn't ever create anything but good stuff. So God didn't create sickness and death. It's important to understand that. In fact, Revelation, the last book in the Bible, goes on and it says that someday sickness and death will be gone. Not only did God not create it, but he promises that someday it's going to be gone. In Revelation 21:4, it says, he will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death, and there won't be any more mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And so we look forward to a day when there will be no more sickness or death. And so you ask the question, well, then why is it here? Why is it here in the first place? Why is sickness and death here in the first place? The Bible, back in Genesis 3, again, it tells us that sickness and death came into our experience because of sin. God didn't create it. It came in because of sin. In Genesis 3, it describes what we call the fall, when man and woman decided to disobey God. Adam and Eve disobeyed God. And as you read through that, you'll see that what happened at the end of that is God, in the punishment for their sin, he says in verse 19, by the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. So what the Bible teaches us is that death and suffering didn't enter into our human existence until sin entered into our human existence. So the truth of the Bible is we can't blame anyone but human beings themselves. And the last thing I want us to know about sickness and death is that it breaks God's heart. Some of the most powerful words in the Bible come from John chapter 11. After Jesus, when he walked this earth, his great friend had died, and he went to see where he was buried. And it says this, one of the most powerful verses in the whole Bible, one of the shortest. In John 11:35, it just simply says, Jesus wept, that it broke his heart, not only to see his friend in the grave, but to see his friend's family weeping over this. And you need to know, even as you're dealing with your sickness or the death that you're dealing with in your family, you need to know that it breaks God's heart. Don't point fingers at God for it. Recognize that he's weeping over this, just as you and your family are as well. And next up in the next video, we're going to talk about what it's like on the other side. So we'll see you in the next video.